Hey guys, welcome along to Hellmouth Hotline. I'm your host, Rodney Stewart, and we're getting into Buffy the Vampire Slayer Season 2 once again. This episode is called Phases. Now, throughout the run of each season of Buffy, there's one big overarching storyline of each season, but every once in a while you break off for a little kind of standalone episode, and sometimes, whenever you realise you've come across one of these sort of standalones and you're really interested in the bigger picture, you're sort of tempted to kind of skip over it and go to the next episode. But don't do it with this one. This one was actually a heck of a lot more enjoyable than I thought. And even in saying that, there's usually something that happens throughout these episodes that will tie to the bigger picture of the season. But anyway, before we get into the bulk of the episode, once again, I'm trying to push my website as much as I can, and go over, check that out. There's a lot of stuff there if you're interested in podcasts or YouTube videos, reviews and vlogs, that sort of thing. Indie film, even there's 6 indie projects there that you can kind of see the evolution of me as a completely 100% self-taught filmmaker. From the first one to the last one, there's a huge difference, so go check it out. There's a few other things there that may be of interest, but there's nothing, if you're not interested in it, but that's okay too. There's nothing that I'm really dying to get big eyes on at the minute. I'm taking it as it comes and enjoying the process of doing the stuff that I enjoy doing. So let's get into this episode. Alright legends, this is Buffy the Vampire Slayer Season 2 Episode 15, entitled Phases, and in this one there is a werewolf attacking Sunnydale, and we discover, everybody thinks the general idea of the werewolf that it only appears in the full moon, which is accurate enough, but everybody thinks it's just the one night a month, but it's usually the night of the full moon and the 2 nights either side of the full moon whenever the power's at its strongest. So there's 3 nights in the month that this werewolf is going to be attacking Sunnydale. So the idea, Giles and the Scooby Gang don't want to kill this werewolf because, it might be a hardcore killing machine 3 nights of the month, but at the end of the day, they're still a human being and they're in there, so they're trying to not kill the wolf, but capture it. But there's another character turns up in this episode called Kane, who is a werewolf hunter, and he has discovered that there's huge money for werewolf pelts, so he's out killing these things 3 nights of the month and stripping the fur pelt off them before it transforms back to a human. They're dead. If they die as a werewolf, the pelt stays as is. So he's in there to be a pain on everybody's backside. But at the beginning of the episode, Cordelia and Xander, they're out on a date in the car, parked up, and doing their thing. They get attacked by it and narrowly escape getting killed by it. During the high school gym class, it's revealed that at least 2 students have been bitten. Oz got bit by a cousin, little nip on his finger, and the school macho man Larry got bit by a dog. And I'm laughing just because the episode goes with this guy. It's hilarious and the way that it's done. They become increasingly suspicious of him throughout the episode, him and the big hard man, but he's running about with this, he's like the school bully, but he's got this bandage on his arm, and they realise, like he said himself, he got bit by a dog, so they just assume, okay, werewolf. So there's a sequence in this episode, and Larry has popped up a few times throughout the series as the macho man. In this episode he actually knocks a book out of a girl's hand, and whenever she bends over to lift it, he's like, ooh, whoa, the real guy thing to do. So, he's one of these school bully sort of characters, and he's acting the real big guy at every opportunity you get to see him. So Xander at one point actually tracks him down in the locker room. Larry's just out of the shower, and Xander walks in, and it's just the way Xander comes out with the line of it at the start. I knew exactly where it was going, but it's like, we need to talk. I know your secret, and pretty much I'm going to tell everybody, sort of thing. But basically, you're assuming that Larry is feeling insecure and threatened at this point. He starts panicking because, oh gosh, someone has found out that I'm actually the werewolf, and that doesn't turn out to be the case at all. And Larry actually comes out as being gay to Xander in the locker room in this episode. Xander didn't see it coming at all, and Larry transforms from the hard man, big guy act to the real, like, the weight of the world has been lifted off my shoulders, and it's all down to you, my friend. And throughout the rest of the episode, nobody else finds out about this, and Xander has formed a weird connection to Larry now in Larry's eyes, because in a previous episode, as we do know in season 1, Xander had got possessed by the coyote, if memory serves properly. So referring to that and the exchange between him and Larry, he says, look, I know what you're going through, I went through the same thing, sort of referring to his supernatural encounter with the coyote. But Larry automatically takes it as, oh, Xander's gay too, so I've got a connection here in the gay community. It is absolutely fantastic and so funny, and how they do it. And that's the good thing about Buffy the Vampire Slayer. They were tackling these sorts of storylines whenever it was, back then it was still a bit of a taboo thing to cover. Not these days. Nobody's going to think twice about anybody coming out and telling people that they're attracted to, a man's attracted to a man or a woman's attracted to a woman. I have got absolutely no problem with that at all. I have got a few fairly close friends who are openly gay, so it's all good in my book. But it is, in this episode, it's absolutely hilarious at the way they do it, and it's like Xander's reaction in the situation he finds himself in. Absolutely brilliant. The next night would be the second night of the werewolf, since the werewolf is human the rest of the month. It would be wrong to kill it. This, however, is not the view of Kane. He's out. We've already covered that. Buffy and Giles rush to the Bronze, where the werewolf crashes the party, and Buffy tries to catch it with a chain, but fails. Kane turns up after it's gone again, joins them and points out that if the werewolf kills anybody, it's going to be Buffy's fault. A body does turn up the next morning. Teresa, one of the students, Buffy's not the only one that has feelings of guilt over this. Oz wakes up in the forest, naked and confused after changing back from his wolf state, recalling the bite he got. He calls his Aunt Maureen and bluntly asks if his cousin is a werewolf. This is an absolutely hilarious part in this episode too, because if you know the character of Oz in this series, played by Seth Green, he's the guitarist in the rock band. He's not the high school dropout sort of a character. He's very, very intelligent, but he's laid back, takes life as it comes. Everything's just happy-go-lucky with him, and he doesn't let himself get worked up too much over anything. He's just the cool character in the series, and this he does kind of start panicking after he realizes he's a werewolf. But it's the conversation, it's the way he finds out about it. Whenever you see him changing back, you're expecting him to go to the Giles and the Scooby gang and they start researching and working out everything that's happening and finding out that way. But he remembers his cousin biting him, and he's in his house, and he lifts the phone and calls his Aunt Maureen, and he's just like, is he a werewolf by any chance? And he's like, oh, so how long's that going on? And that's the way the truth comes out in the episode. It's the dry humour and the way that it was done. Absolutely fantastic. Xander figures out, we've already covered that there, the whole confrontation in the locker room, and that's absolutely brilliant the way that's done. Like, I really did like the way it went down in this episode. Back in the library, Buffy suggests to Willow that she might have to make the first move if she wants to speed things up with Oz. He's playing the cool card with her whenever it comes to romance and whatnot. Like, he wants something to happen, but he doesn't want to push things either. Buffy realises that the reports of Teresa's body did not mention any Mullen. All the dead people that have turned up from the werewolf attacks have been absolutely ripped to shreds, and they go to the morgue, and she looks fine. She's in her coffin. Well, when I say fine, the girl's dead. She's not fine, obviously, but she's not mauled, and she's got this choker around her neck, and Buffy moves it, and it's it's a vampire bite that killed her. We do know this, the viewer. Haven't been watching the episode. We see her run on the angel, so we know that he is actually the one that kills her. And in the morgue, while Buffy is checking out the corpse and sees the vampire teeth marks on her throat, she goes to sign the little book of memorial for Teresa, along with Xander. And the next thing, Teresa jumps up out of the coffin. She's actually been turned to a vampire and almost gets the upper hand on Buffy. And if Xander wasn't there was a very high possibility that Teresa could have possibly killed her in this one, because she completely catches Buffy off guard whenever she says Angel sends his greetings, and Buffy is completely taken aback, and Teresa could have used this to her advantage to go on for the kill, but Xander comes from behind and stakes her, and she is just another stark reminder that Angel/Angelus definitely does have the upper hand in this season when it comes to the two of them. Cain busies himself making silver bullets for the hunt. Willow visits Oz right before the sundown. Oz is about to chain himself up for, he knows he's a werewolf now, so he thinks, okay, I'll get myself chained up, and if I can't leave the house, I can't hurt anyone. But Willow gets into the house. Her rant about the mixed signals he's sending is interrupted by him changing into a werewolf, so she flees the house screaming. Oz chases her down. Cain hears the wolf cry, joins the hunt. The werewolf is distracted by a scent which Cain has set as a trap. Willow escapes, then finds Giles and Buffy, who are about to start the hunt, and lets them know, okay, right, we're in trouble here. The werewolf is actually Oz. What the hell are we going to do? Let's go get him before he kills someone or gets killed himself. So off they go with a tranquilizer gun, and everybody meets up in a clearing in the forest. Cain trying to kill the werewolf, Buffy, Giles and Willow trying to tranquilize the wolf and beat Cain at the same time. And in the scuffle, it is Willow who shoots Oz, saving everybody. Buffy being put down by Cain in every encounter they have in this episode. He's like, oh, you're just a little girl, what can you do, sort of a deal. And he's forever giving them jabs about, her and Giles hanging out, and it's like, an older man, younger woman sort of thing. He's just one of these guys, he's just an asshole. but he's starting to give her some abuse again at the end of the episode. Buffy has his gun, and she bends the gun barrel with her bare hands with the Slayer strength, and tells him to get out of Sunnydale. And at school next morning, Oz and Willow finally do share their first kiss. She does initiate it. She goes on there, but it's a tender moment between the two of them. It's a great little episode. But again, as I said at the very beginning, sometimes you tend to, when you realise it isn't a bigger picture episode, it's just one of these sort of standalone things, you can be tempted to jump over it and go to the next one, but definitely don't. And the Buffy the Vampire, like season 1 and this season up to this point, there's been a couple of episodes throughout those 2 seasons where, you're thinking, there's not a lot that's going to happen in this episode. It's going to change things up a little bit. But, in this one, you had the killing of Teresa and the changing over to a vampire by Angel. It's just something that happens fairly swiftly within the episode, but it does reinforce the situation that they're facing in the bigger picture throughout this season. And just to skip back to season 1, there was that episode called The Pack, which was one of these ones that, again, you could have jumped over. But the principal of the high school was murdered in that episode. So if you didn't catch that, the rest of the season, maybe it wouldn't have bothered you that much. But if you're a completist, it's one of these things you need to know. But anyway, that was a bit of a tangent. But it's a great little episode. This is probably, reaching back into my memory. I have said before, I've seen Buffy the Vampire Slayer from start to finish a couple of times now, but literally it has got to the stage now where it's been that long since I checked it out. It is, this episode came out in 1998. We're now in 2021. That's quite a while ago that this season or this series began. And there's bits and pieces that I remember, there's bits and pieces that I'm not remembering, and it's like I'm almost watching it with fresh eyes at this point. Really enjoying it. And I think season 2, from memory, for me, is probably the strongest out of all the seasons. But I think that's mainly because of the Angelus character. I really did take to that character probably more than any of the other characters in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, because it's just one of these characters that's got such an interesting backstory, and one of these tormented souls. And I kind of really do like those sort of characters, so it's all good. Anyway, that's going to do it for this episode, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. And again, just before we go, jump over, check out coinsagemedia.com. I know it's really weird that the website isn't often like the names of the podcasts or anything. I can't recall if I've actually set up connections to Hellmouth Hotline, but I might have actually done so. Maybe even if you check out hellmouthhotline.com, that might actually take you to the website as well. So anyway, that's going to do it for this one. I'll talk to you again tomorrow for some more Hammer House of Horror. This has been a production of Coins Age Media. Thank you so